Imagine a world so dangerous that your best chance of survival was diving into the ocean, not to escape sharks but to avoid what was lurking on land. Welcome to the late Permian period, where hell wasn't fire and brimstone. It was dry, cracked dirt, fanged predators, and nightmare fuel with legs. Today we're traveling back 250 million years to one of the most terrifying times in Earth's history, when you'd have a better shot floating in oxygen-deprived, toxic seas than taking a single step on land. Let's meet the monsters. For hundreds of millions of years, the oceans were the deadliest places on Earth, home to armored fish, sea scorpions, and massive prehistoric sharks. But then, something awful happened. Massive volcanic eruptions unleashed clouds of greenhouse gases. Ocean temperatures spiked, oxygen levels plummeted, marine life suffocated in the largest mass extinction the planet has ever seen, killing 96% of everything in the seas. Suddenly the oceans went quiet, and for the first time in Earth's history the water was the safer option, because while the seas were empty, the land was alive, and it was horrifying. Let's start with the big guy, Titanophonius, literally meaning Titanic murderer. And oh, it lived up to that name. Picture a 13-foot-long predator with the body of a tank and the soul of a wolf. Crocodile skull, serrated teeth, muscles for days. And worst of all, it was warm-blooded. That meant no sluggish mornings, no heat naps in the sun. It hunted when others rested. Imagine a land where the apex predator doesn't pause. You wouldn't stand a chance. Titanophonius didn't just survive the Permian, it owned it. You've heard of saber-toothed tigers. Cool. Now meet Inostransevia, the original saber-toothed nightmare. 10 feet long, 3-foot skull, jaws that were mostly fangs. And here's the kicker, it wasn't a reptile. It was more closely related to you than to a dinosaur. That's right, this beast is an ancient cousin of mammals. This thing didn't just kill, it hunted other hunters. Nothing was safe. If you saw it charging through the brush, you had one option: regret your life choices. Enter Rubigia, the heavyweight champion of prehistoric pain. Thick skull, bone-crushing jaws, no nonsense. If Inostransevia was the sleek assassin, Rubigia was the barroom brawler, built to smash anything that got in its way. Prey, rival predators, your hopes and dreams, it didn't care. Think Rubigia was bad? Let me introduce you to Ankylosaurus. Basically a 20-foot-long bulldozer with teeth. Massive skull, serrated teeth, enough muscle to flatten a Jeep. And here's the terrifying twist. Scientists used to think it was slow. Turns out, it was fast. So yeah, imagine a charging bus that can sprint. That's Ankylosaurus. Good luck outrunning it, or outlasting it, or surviving it at all. While the brutes ruled the day, Simnognathus was your worst nightmare after sunset. Sleek, smart, fast, deadly. It likely hunted in low light, meaning dusk, dawn, or nighttime weren't safe. Its jaws could snap shut in milliseconds, delivering fatal bites with surgical precision. And then there was Viet-Kogorgon, a smaller, faster predator with a wide skull that looked like it was permanently smiling. Not cute. Terrifying. Imagine walking through prehistoric woods at night, hearing nothing, and then seeing that grin. But it wasn't just killers out there. Some creatures survived by turning into tanks. Meet Scutosaurus, the shield lizard, 8 feet long, 1,000 pounds, covered in bony armor plates like a prehistoric armadillo on steroids. It wasn't fast, but it was tough. A predator had to earn that meal. And then there was Periosaurus, a lumpy, toad-faced tank with bone ridges, a flattened skull, and enough armor to make a medieval knight jealous. Basically the nope response to anything with teeth. Then came the weirdos like Moschops, a plant-eating hulk with a ridiculously thick skull used for headbutting rivals. These weren't just walking punching bags. Some may have had social behaviors and even basic problem-solving skills. They looked like rejects from a dinosaur wrestling league, but they were smart, tough, and built to bash. And if you thought staying out of the water and avoiding land predators meant safety, not even close. The skies were buzzing with giant dragonflies, like Meganeura, with wingspans over 2 feet wide and the speed of a falcon. Then there were giant butterflies and house cat-sized scorpions with armor and venom-tipped tails. You're not safe underground either. Arthropleura, the biggest millipede in Earth's history, slithered through the underbrush at up to 8.5 feet long. Millipedes, as long as your sofa, with armor. Suddenly the ocean doesn't sound so bad, does it? The late Permian wasn't just dangerous, it was a full-on prehistoric horror movie. On land, armored herbivores clashed with bone-crushing killers. In the skies, giant insects patrolled the air like flying buzzsaws. And even the forests weren't safe, crawling with monsters you'd swear were made up. And just when things couldn't get worse, the great dying hit. Over 90% of life wiped out in one final gasp of volcanic disaster, acid rain, and suffocating heat. So yeah, next time you dip your toes into the ocean and worry about sharks, be grateful you're not living in a time when water was the only safe place left. If you enjoyed this dive into prehistoric horror, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Which Permian predator would you least want to meet in a dark canyon? Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and be thankful the scariest thing in your backyard is probably just a raccoon.